Good morning, dear Dharma friends. Hi, James. Look what I have. James looks like an ordinary human being, but he's remarkably aquatic and looked for my phone in the ocean for about an hour. Really something. So, it is orienting to date. It is December the 10th. We made it through another night. The energies of our lives are such that we choose to come together to practice. The heart is beating. I can't remember if I've shared this with you. I had a echocardiogram on Tuesday, kind of standard maintenance. Outcome is fine. But I got to see on the screen, quote, my heart doing its thing. Boom. And it was very touching. And it made the vulnerability of being this really obvious. So I am grateful to be here today. I'm grateful that you have made the effort to come and be part of our gathering. Thank you for being here, Jim. All right. Oops. I have a poem selected. Uh-oh, it disappeared. Come back.
Gonna record, please?
We did. Oh, I thought I did. Interesting. Thanks, Jim. Huh. I got Facebook and YouTube going. Record.
Recording in progress.
Thank you. Recent. Oh, here it is. This is a poem by Monica Hall. I'm not sure how it came to me. It's in my collection. I had a dream of an easy life. A life where I loved college, made lifelong friends, impressed all my professors, graduated with honors, ceremony cap and gown, teary pride family. A life like a straight line. Smooth, sharp, direct, forward, up. A life where I didn't feel betrayed or heartbroken, or a deep, unquenchable ache. A pain so great I chose a hospital as the last resort. A life of epic romance, of ravenous passion and fascinating connection. A life like a party, myself the life. A life of ease, success, adoration. A life that preserved my virginal innocence, my sweet ignorance. A life without struggle, regret, or disappointment. A life without lostness, confusion, or quiet desperation. A life without loneliness, hopelessness, or self-doubt. A life without suffering, fear, or shame. A life of perfect harmony and happily ever after. I mourn this fantasy, this imaginary life, this fake life, this safe life, this meaningless life, this pointless, faithless life. What good would it be or do for me or for you? I thank this imperfect, chaotic, magical life. I rejoice in its apparent cruelty, its roughness. I celebrate its mystery. For it is mine alone, it has created me, the one. Cheers to you, my flawed and failing, my passionate, my ailing, complicated, messy, winding, tangled life. So we come to the practice of saying yes to life as it actually is in this moment. Yes, I will be awake. I will accept this moment as it is. And so in the way taught by the Buddha so long ago, we put aside all other activities. Find our way to comfortably sitting upright. As comfortable as we can, given the human body. And let us intentionally call to mind a few moments of gratitude. Gratitude for the comfortable spot where you sit. And likely or probably all of us last night had a warm, dry place to sleep. The body is working pretty well. There's enough food, more than enough. And there are good Dharma friends. This is a lot to be grateful for. And let us now do the foundational practice from the Buddha, mindfulness of the body. Notice the life in the hands and arms, in the solar plexus and abdomen. Wondrously alive, every finger alive. Notice the contact of the body with the chair, or the feet with the shoes, or the socks. And as has been our custom and practice of humans for at least 2,600 years, let us bring awareness into the mystery of breathing. Ever since that fateful moment, just moments ago you left your mother's body, and then she could no longer breathe for you. The umbilical cord was clamped, cut. Carbon dioxide built up and you gasped. Your lungs inflated and you turned pink. The trees, the grasses, the plankton, the Amazon rushed into your lungs. And so it's been ever since then. Unceasing. And with this billowing inward of the breath and the expansion of the chest and abdomen, we have a home base of the highest order. It's right here in the present moment. Each breath has a beginning. What if we say yes to this beginning? It has a rising to fullness, another yes. It has a moment of transition from in to out, and then there's falling, another yes. And then it vanishes, another yes. And so let us abide, beautiful old word. Let us rest. The term in Pali for the 4 foundations of mindfulness, gochara, literally means pasture. The pasture of abiding in breathing in and breathing out. There may well be thoughts. There may be a lot of thoughts, or few thoughts. There may be the energies of wanting, desiring, craving, or disliking, wanting, not, pushing against. Say yes to these. They exist. Let them arise and pass away. There may be restlessness and agitation or worry, trying to solve some problem. Or sloth and torpor, sleepy dullness. Or doubt. Why am I doing this? Does this work? Shouldn't I be chanting? I have work to get done. And to all of these phenomena, we say yes. And to each breath, if the mind is restless, jumping from one object to another, worrying, we might increase our intention of concentration. Lean into, climb into the breath more fully. Notice the very beginning, the middle, the end. Recognize the breath as the sensations of life. Perhaps use noting, rising, rising, falling, falling. We don't use much mental energy for the noting, just enough to point, rising, rising, falling, falling. Wandering, wandering, returning. Or you might count the breaths, breathing in 1, breathing out 2, up to 10, back to 1. If you lose count, just start over. It's not about getting somewhere. It's not like we're gathering up breaths to save for the future. We're just inhabiting them fully. Rest back into this moment. On the other end of the spectrum from the mind being restless and agitated, sometimes the mind grows very quiet. The forces of the 5 hindrances can be almost gone. The mind rests easy with the breath. At such times one can rest in simple presence, choiceless awareness. A thought may arise, a memory might arise, a body sensation might come to the fore. A breath might draw awareness. Whatever the circumstance, we can call to mind, call to heart, the truth of impermanence and observe it unfolding as us, within us. Every breath sings the great truth of anicca. Allowing the realization, the insight, that what there is now. And can you discern where this now begins or where it ends? Such dichotomies don't exist. There's just now. In this now, the past is over. And as we began to reflect yesterday, holding any resentment at all is a prison which keeps us barred from now. And this morning I invite us to do a little further forgiveness practice. To let yourself land here fully, alive in this body, in this community of practice. And we each have lots of stories about what's happened in our lives, what we've done and not done, and what others have done and not done. See if you have any story about your own failing in life, your own something you did to betray yourself or someone else. Something in the old days we would have called sin. And then notice where this resentment exists, this self-hatred. It's right here. It's now. Forgiveness is the skill, the act, the way of being such that we relinquish the practice of torturing ourselves by summoning the past into the present moment, by making it up. And of course, as I said yesterday, forgiving doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean not learning the lessons. Almost for sure, anything that you or I have done in the past, we wouldn't do now. We learned. And let every breath be comforting, deepening. And perhaps imagine yourself face to face with yourself. At whatever age comes to mind, with whatever action or inaction that you cherish as a resentment towards yourself. Sometimes we disqualify ourselves for love or for success or for contentment because of something that happened 20 years ago. This is madness. And so right here, right now, perhaps imagine sitting across from yourself or walking down a path holding hands with yourself or sitting on the beach with yourself. Your precious, one-of-a-kind ever self. Remember whatever it is that you cherish as a blot on your personality and your life, a blemish. Notice that it's thoughts, body feelings, emotion. And then you will find your own words, your own images, your own metaphors. But one possibility is simply, I knew you did the best you could at the time. You did the best you were at the time. And it caused harm to yourself or somebody else. And it's over. And so here in this present moment, we can say something like, as much as I can in this moment, as much as I'm able to, I forgive you. I forgive myself. And the words might not be what carry it, maybe just the intention. That you know from this moment going forth, you really intend to stop this self-hatred. It serves no one. To have faith, you'll keep yourself oriented to the truth and to skillful behavior, which is pretty much a certainty. As much as I can in this moment, I forgive myself. And what's needed to comfort yourself? What is it you've been longing for, perhaps your whole life? What is it you've wanted to hear, perhaps your whole life? There is now within you an infinite capacity of self-care, of self-love. I love you, with your name at the end. Allow the body in its deepest recesses. Allow the psyche in its deepest corners to feel and know this intention. I intend to forgive myself. I intend to trust my refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, and the guidance of the precepts. To use the energy that can be freed up through self-forgiveness for further awakening. And knowing that you can, at any moment in any time, return to self-forgiveness. In fact, it might occur spontaneously in your sleep. It might be in your fourth dream tomorrow night. It might be just an intuition as you're driving the car. I intend to forgive myself. I've always done the best that I was. And make a commitment to do that even more. Thanking yourself, letting that visualization dissolve and coming home here. Notice the breathing in. The breathing out. Each breath is a beacon shining in the present moment. Let us remember throughout this day and the coming days to awaken in this now with a yes. Yes, I accept this moment as it is. Landing here. And let us dedicate the merits of this practice to ourselves, our loved ones. We already affect all of our relationships with anything that we do like this. May the positive benefits of this practice be shared with people to the north of us, to the south of us. Let's think of a city in Whitehorse or Dawson City, Dawson Creek. To the south in Los Angeles and Panama City and Santiago. Everywhere there are people seeking happiness. To the west of us in Hawaii, North Korea, China, India, Pakistan. Everywhere, people long to be happy. May those to the east of us, Cincinnati, Montreal, Birmingham, Lyon, in Istanbul, to the southeast, Africa, all those cities in Nigeria, in Saudi Arabia, and Chad and Niger. Everywhere there are people being born and dying, living their lives. May our practice affect in a positive way everyone in India and Madagascar and Micronesia and Australia. And there's that small band of people living out the summer in Antarctica. May all beings everywhere share in the merits of our practice. Please join me in taking a moment to feast on the images here on the screen. These are, of course, not just pictures. These are real human beings. If we were with them, we could hug them. They're real as anything. And I don't know that it's an apology, but it's a remembrance. We were talking yesterday about the pain of losing family members to the big lie. And it is painful, isn't it? And I did express a part of my character, which is pretty critical of that. And of course, any of us could be in any of the roles. So I think it makes much more sense to, it's a big topic, of course, but to set the boundaries we need to set, take care of ourselves, but also to really work at keeping our hearts open. We're all profoundly deluded by taking that which is impermanent as permanent, by taking that which is really inconclusively satisfying, not taking dukkha, mistaking it as sukha, pleasure or satisfaction. And we take these selves to be something quite real, and we can set them up in opposition to other selves, and then we're at war. So just a reminder that our best practices are love and compassion, without exception. Mm-hmm. So, Jim, I am completely on a different channel right now from announcements.
Not sure I can help. Looking at my calendar, today is the 10th. Okay. The next weekend, on the 18th, I'm going to be doing a Qigong workshop. And then on the 19th, Candle will be doing her third Sunday of the month gathering. And I don't think there's much on the calendar beyond that. I could be wrong.
Well, there is soon in January re-entering the building. I don't know if I shared this with you yesterday. Can't remember. Where is it? Here. This is kind of pretty. There's the ramp and then the porch on the bottom right. That's the back door. The door into the living room is right there. And I think I'm going there today, but and here's the new entryway. The new this is from the front entrance. Those doors are 2 or 3 feet wider than the old doors. Oh, and here's the doors downstairs. Each of the offices has a new one of these. 3 feet wide. That might be it. And here's the Dharma hall, which is storage par excellence. We've rented it out for people to store their excess belongings. So that'll come soon, very soon. I was in the construction meeting with the team that I admire so much, and felt a little sad, thinking, wow, they're going to go away. Of course, they have to go for us to get in, so I'll suffer the pain of that. I'm actually going to take them all out for dinner. That'll be fun. So, friends, what is arising in your heart? Hello, Janice.
Good morning. So yesterday, when we were in the meditation guiding us, the person that came through the door for me and sat down with myself, of course, and the sadness comes. And the pain of all these years of resenting, not forgiving myself for everything in my whole life. All the awful things I did. And then the realization that I can never talk in this group. I guess from being afraid, not worthy, etc. So it's very sad and tearful all day yesterday and evening. I went to bed with tears. And then this morning, again. But I think there's also been some movement that I can actually say something today. And maybe it's the first step. I intend to forgive myself.
Wow. You're breaking open.
I hope so.
I think it's kind of apparent. It's kind of apparent. It's actually happening.
I hope so. Oh my God, I'm so tired of this.
Yeah. Well, how wonderfully brave of you to share it. And I encourage you to look around at the different people here and see the expressions on their faces. Oh, that's an idea. We could wave. Hi, Janice. You're actually one of us. We are you.
Yeah, that's right.
You belong. You really are part of us.
Inter-be, inter-are.
Yeah.
Yes.
And how fortunate to have your heart opening like this. And you know what to do. Just stay with it, ride it, let it unfold. It's a completely natural thing.
Yes. Namaste, thank you.
I just had a lovely image. Do you know peonies? I love peonies. My mother grew them, and they're totally dependent on the ants. The ants have to eat some waxy substance off the tight little bud before it. And then there's that, I always wonder, especially with the first ones in the spring, is this thing going to blossom or not? Right? And then from one day to the next, it's boom. I think that's what's happening. Great beauty emerging. Thanks, Janice. Oh boy. That makes it worth getting up in the morning.
Poem?
Yes, Denise.
Could you put the poem by Patty, I think it's Patty Bruce, about the feather falling on the rock and breaking open? I've been thinking about that since yesterday when David posted that poem about letting go of resentment and it like a feather falling off, and I felt like it needed to end with that poem by Patty.
Well, let me share it with you now, and I can also try to put it in the chat. I tried putting this poem by Monica Hall in the chat, and it's too big. But what's it called? The feather.
It just you know what I'm talking
I know
about,
the
right?
poem. I remember her writing it.
It just feels like that's where my heart is too.
Oh, I know what it is. I just remembered the title. I think it's Broken Rock. Oh yes, hooray! All right. Oh, well, it was close. Okay, this was written by Patty Bruce at Hollyhock on 10/19/03. Wow. I wonder how Patty is. I haven't heard from or of her in a decade. Hollyhock is on the ocean, and it's very tidal. There's a large tide, 15-foot tide. You stood guardian beside these waters for centuries. No one knows how long. One day you were rent in two. Was it the relentless waves that broke you? Or was it the loon feather, fallen on your fracture, that finally opened you to more sky than you ever imagined possible? You stood guardian beside these waters for centuries. No one knows how long. One day you were rent in two. Was it the relentless waves that broke you? Or was it the loon feather fallen on your fracture that finally opened you to more sky than you ever imagined possible? I'm sending it to Connections. There that goes. I'll send the other one there too. I had a dream of an easy life. There it goes. It's a lovely, rich silence, isn't it? Hello, James. Hi.
Yeah. Hello. I don't want to just thank Janice for sharing. It's so it's interesting. It happened just at the time I was having a moment of gratitude for all the Sangha that do share of themselves. And I don't mean to create lines of distinction between those that share and those that don't, but I do just want to say how enriching it is to my life when the Sangha does share of themselves and what we're all going through. And so I'm paging through here on my phone. I viewed the meeting through a small screen, and so I have to page through to see the Sangha. And as I was going through, I saw Dave Mayer, whom I've never met in person, or even talked to, but I've heard him share, and at the moment that I saw his face, I don't know if he's still here. I think you probably are, Dave.
He's still here.
But at the moment that I saw his face, his hand was on his head like this. And it looked like he was doing the thing where you pat your head and rub your stomach at the same time. And I was like, oh, an inner child moment. So, and then I thought, well, maybe you shouldn't share that, James, because throughout the day, people, the people that are involved here may find themselves trying that. Like, how can you resist? I mean, like it's not easy. Right. So I want to thank Dave, even though he probably didn't intend to actually be doing that or wasn't doing that. It just has me reflect on a lot of my childhood friends that I used to, in first and second and third grade, that I used to pal around with, and the silly things we would do. So
I'm still working on walking and chewing gum at the same time.
Yeah. Good luck with that. Thank you. It's just nice. It's really great to be here.
Thank you, James. It is. It is.
Robert.
Michael.
Hi, Robert. I have a song I'd like to offer to Janice. I don't know if it's appropriate or not.
Yeah.
Would that be okay?
Yeah.
Janice, is that okay with you? I know you don't know you are hurting me. I forgive you. Even if I am wrong, you know you are hurting me. I forgive you. Yeah. Why is it so hard to forgive myself for all the things I thought I had to do? Why is it so hard to love myself, to be the arms I am falling into? Something's out there calling to me, calling to me. Stand and raise your voice over the noise of who they want you to be. You are so much more than that, my child. Let your voice, let your genius guide you. Let your heart be a northern star. You will find yourself after a while. Something's out there calling to me, calling to me. Something's out there calling to me, calling to me.
Wow, Michael. So glad you have tuned in. Michael sang at my wedding a decade or so ago. And many other times at the end of retreats, he has opened our hearts to each other. A poet chansonnier. I just saw you sharing, Andra. Hi, welcome back. You came at a choice moment. And Janice, thank you for your sharing, your gift to us. I'd like to say the following, and I don't know that it's necessary, but it so often is, that there could come a moment an hour from now or 20 minutes from now or already where the shame beast comes up and says, oh no, I shouldn't have done that. And just don't take that seriously. This is actually your sharing is an incredible gift to all of us. It will change our lives. It will give everyone, myself included, more permission to be real, to face the grief that we go around with, and therefore to have the joy. I know on my retreats and my classes too, I'm always so relieved when someone opens up to a deep level of joy or sadness or rage or something. Because then suddenly there's like, oh, it may be safe to be myself here. And so the level of the entire level of the group goes down into more humanness, less perfectionism. Well, I will need to go soon. I actually get to spend a couple of hours with my grandchildren this morning. It's a very unusual event, so. Anybody else have anything you'd like to share before we go? I'd like to indulge my...
I have a quickie.
Hi, Jai.
Hi, a moment of joy. This last weekend went to Florida. I'm in California to a family reunion. And one of the reasons we were getting together was there was a newborn, that it was 1 month old that we were celebrating. And I fed a newborn baby for the first time in my life.
Ah.
Yeah.
You liked that.
I liked that.
It's a nice experience. Beautiful.
Yeah. Feels like an important part of the human cycle.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, see you Sunday, those of you that come on Sunday morning at 10 and again on Monday, out in this fantasy that we call the future. Quite probably it will happen. So let's go out on a on blessings for all beings. May all beings receive all blessings. Bhavatu Sabe Mangalam Bhavatu Sabe Mangalam Bhavatu Sabe Mangalam Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu
Sadhu.
Well, the Portland Tabernacle Choir.
I just had a flashback to being in Tibet in one of those monastery places, and about 100 monks chanting in their own, but they're all in their own time. We're so beautiful. All right, dear ones, take care.
Thank you, Robert.
Till soon.
Thank you,
Bye.
Have a wonderful weekend, everybody.
Be well.
Bye, B.
Bye, Head.
Bye, B.
Bye, David.
Bye.
Bye, Dave.
Bye, hi. See you. Have a good day.
Bye, everyone. Thank you, Robert and Jim.
Bye, Jim.
Bye, bye. Bye, bye.
Bye, Denise. Bye, Kat.
Bye, all. Love you.
Sweetheart. Bye, Head.
Bye, Tamara. Bye, Tamara.
Bye, honey. Bye.
Take care, everybody. All right. So, Facebook, YouTube folks, thanks for being here. Quite a morning. You can always join us on Zoom, and it's, of course, got a lot more